Have you ever thought about what your unique signature process looks like? Maybe you know what it is, but you haven't ever written it down or you haven't ever actually tried to explain it to somebody else. Well, I want to help you with that today by not only telling you why that's important, but also sharing a snapshot of what my signature process looks like. Hey, y'all, I'm Carrie Shepard, and I'm a business strategist for women entrepreneurs, and I am passionate about helping women entrepreneurs create a profitable online business that fuels their life. And having a signature process in place and recognizing that you have your unique signature, the way that you do business that's different than anybody else, is going to be the difference maker for you. And so this is one of the things that I help my clients figure out because you can take a signature process and you can teach it in so many different formats. So it's something you could do in a, high-end private one-to-one coaching program. It's something that you could teach in a group program that doesn't quite have as much one-to-one time. It's something you could teach in a passive product, some sort of, maybe it's a video training or webinar kind of series, something like that. It's something you could teach in a webinar. But once you've really created this signature process, you can take that and this is your material to start training and teaching and speaking on. And so what I love to do is I love to reverse engineer the process. So when you think about where do you want your client to end up after they're working with you, and then reverse engineer what are the steps that you would take them through in order to get to that process. So let me give you a snapshot of what it looks like in my business, because I know I always love when people give me examples. So when I first get a client, kind of the getting started piece, and a lot of this process is done through their orientation packet, or in a group program, it might be done through, the first like getting started module. And that's all about mindset. So really starting with mindset first and kind of preparing them before we get started. So this can be, just even being clear about what are those limiting beliefs that might potentially hold them back in the program. It's also about, what are their daily practices, habits, what are they reading? What are they watching? I love to kind of dig into all of that so that we really start on a fresh, clean slate. And then the other thing about mindset and kind of getting started is also what are their goals for the program, or what are their goals in the time that we're going to be working together? And that can be financially, it could be mindset wise, it could be, tangible outcomes. What are the things that they want to have gotten by the time we end our work together? So that's kind of the first piece. And then I break my signature program down into 3 areas. And obviously there's a lot under each one, but I really recommend, if you can, put your signature process in within like 3 to 5 steps. So I'm going to share with you my 3 steps. So number 1 is clarity. So clarity is going to be the absolute foundation of your business. And no matter where a client is, whether they're already making 6 figures or they're just getting started, and everywhere in between, this is where we start. We start with clarity. And so this is going to be, again, clarity on the type of business they want, the type of income they want to be making, the amount of time they want to be working in their business, because this determines, do they want to be working with, one-to-one clients? Do they want a group program? Do they want passive income? So we really have that clear foundation. And then we can move into, who do they want to serve? Who is that ideal client? And again, no matter what stage of business, this is something we can always go back to. And then based on those 2 pieces of information, we can then create their one signature program. And really without those foundational pieces, it's really hard to know what your signature program is going to be. So, for some, it's that they want to start out with one-to-one. They want to start out with a 3 or a 6-month program, and that's going to be their signature program. And then for some others, they're ready to step into a group program, and that's going to be their signature program. And then we dive into how long is that going to be? What is the price point of it? And we really start planning that out. So that's kind of phase 1 of my signature process, is clarity. Phase 2 is all about creation. So now we've got this foundation. We understand what we're working towards. Now we need to create something. We need to figure out how to drive traffic to our business, right? And I call this client attraction marketing. And typically with my clients, we work on creating a really amazing webinar, something that they can put on autopilot that's going to be working for them all the time. And it's a way that they can really give a lot of value. They build that know, like, and trust value factor. And again, it's something that can always be working for them. And then what we do is we create paid traffic. So usually we use Facebook ads to drive traffic to that. So we're kind of creating this system, or a sales funnel, if you will. So we've got, paid traffic to the webinar. And then from the webinar, we're inviting them into some sort of a strategy or discovery call with the person. So that's kind of the creation phase. And then we move on to the final phase in my signature program, which is conversion. So that's all about moving somebody from a prospect to a client. So maybe it's somebody that's watched their webinar, or they've seen them on social media or in a video or something like that, and they're ready to actually have that conversation with them. And so I really help my clients get confident in the sales process. I have a 6-step process that I walk them through so that it really feels like they're having a conversation with a friend, and it doesn't have to feel sleazy or slimy or anything like that. And so that's one part of the conversion. The other part of the conversion is we start to look at the funnel they have in place. We start to look at the paid traffic. How is it converting? What are the things that we need to tweak? What are the things that we need? Do we need to be testing different ads? Do we need to be testing different copy? Do they need to redo their webinars? Something, not converting well in that. And that process is really an ongoing process because we're always going to be testing and tweaking and trying new things. And so that conversion phase, is really where we want to get to. So that's basically what my signature process looks like. It's clarity, creation, and conversion. And then my signature program that I've created is called the Consistent Cash Flow Formula. And basically, this is a simple system for women entrepreneurs who want their business to fuel their life and their freedom, and they want to attract high-end clients on autopilot without stress and overwhelm. So if that's not easy to say, but basically it's for women like you and me that want a business that's going to fuel their life. They want a business that has freedom and flexibility and fun, but they want to be making a big impact. And so I help them walk through this 3-step process to create that. And I created an 8-week program to help them do that. And again, it's called the Consistent Cash Flow Formula. And I'm really, really proud of this. And so now it's your turn. It's your turn to reverse engineer, start going through your own process, figure out what steps you normally take a client through, and then figure out what way you want to deliver that. Do you want to do it through one-on-one? Do you want to develop an 8-week program? Do you want to develop a longer term program? And then really create that signature process and share it. Share it with other people. That's where you're going to really start to see attraction. So obviously, if there's anything that I can help you with, if you need to walk through the clarity, creation, and conversion phases, I would love to speak with you. Feel free to reach out and connect with me. And as always, if this video has made a difference for you, I would love it if you hit that share button and leave me a comment below so I know you were here. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye, y'all.